Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
A wonderful person. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So the conversations are just rampant here throughout the Braylon Edwards Show. It's a fun, it's a loose atmosphere, and we're glad you're with us here on a Thursday afternoon. He is the man. He is Braylon Edwards. Kool-Aid's with us. Ryan is with us. And we're glad you're with us as well as the Tigers get set to play Cleveland at 3 o'clock. You're shaking your head. What's the level of concern on your part right now?
I don't have concern, to be honest. I think to be concerned is to believe a team has a chance, and I think how that team. Well, no, being honest, you said we talked about who you expected to be in the ALCS, who you expect to be in the World Series. It wasn't the Tigers. How the Tigers fared down that stretch, losing that 15.5 game lead, they barely made the playoffs. I didn't have much expectation for them. So to be concerned is to actually believe a team has a chance, and I never believed.
Oh, that's a good point.
That they had a chance, so I'm not concerned. The Tigers did yesterday what they've been doing for the past 2 months.
Now I see how he got
month and a half. Like they've done the same thing, and now it's getting to the point where you're starting to question the coach or the skipper. I'm not saying I am. That's a conversation I know you would like to get into. But now the skipper seems like he's doing things that are necessarily unbecoming of him, not doing something in one game and then doing it in another game. I can't be concerned because what am I concerned about?
Do you look at that as panic?
Right.
I look at it as uncharacteristic for what you usually do.
I look at it as desperation.
So which is panic.
Yeah. I look at it
And
as
that's
like,
fair.
Nothing I'm doing right now is working. So I'm going to do whatever I possibly can. Look, we all know this. A postseason roster has 14 position players and 12 pitchers.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, it's 26. You can go 13-13, but they went 14-12.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do with your lineup, okay? You're not flushing everybody down the toilet and saying, here's what I'm doing. I'm starting Jake Rogers, Andy Ibanez, Jahmai Jones. You're not doing that stuff, right? But he's trying to do everything he can to kickstart his offense, do whatever he can.
Yeah.
But I think it looks like a little bit of panic. And then the words afterwards of saying, I'm going to go in there, make sure that we're blasting music and our guys are having a fun time, and trying to keep his guys loose feels not fake but forced.
It feels forced because this energy, like where was this energy when the meltdown was happening, for lack of a better word, or when the comeback was happening for the Guardians and the Royals? Where was this energy? Like, there was a lot of this going on over the past 6 weeks, and there wasn't, well, we'll figure some things out. Well, we'll blast some music. Well, we'll change the environment. Well, we'll do some things different. It was just, we'll just continue to do what we do. And now, all of a sudden, we're in the playoffs. You win game one, and then game two, it just didn't play out for you. And now you take Casey Mize out a little bit early. Now you bench your best player. And I know a lot of people have made it, it's never been done in terms of benching the best player on your team because he's having a terrible go at it or having a bad go at it. He's not good in the clutch. Riley Green hasn't been good in the clutch this season. I want to say he's like 19. He's 2 of 29 in clutch moments in terms of when batters are on, when there's an opportunity. So maybe this is him trying to do the math. Maybe this was A.J. Hinch going to the analytics, going to the books a little bit too much. But to your point, when all else is going wrong, you try to create some shakeup somewhere, somehow. You try to find that spark. And I think in trying to find that spark, he sparked a lot of controversy. Because just looking at it from a player, if I'm on that team, if I'm any one of the ball players on that club, I know who the best guy on the team is. It's Riley Green. Yeah, we're not talking about pitchers. The best player on that team, not named Tarek Skubal, is Riley Green. So for a skipper to bench him in a playoff game in which you are up a game essentially on the Cleveland Guardians, the bane of your existence, it just makes those guys in the dugout have questions. Maybe it won't shake Riley Green, maybe it won't cause him this game to play like, oh, man, I got benched. Now my confidence is shaking. Maybe he plays well. But for those guys that saw their best player get benched, that's going to cause them to have some, like you just said, concerns.
I think I like Riley Green.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I can't admit he is having a terrible September and bad postseason. There's a lot of guys who can join him.
Yeah.
I want people to be careful when they start. You didn't say this, but others have said it. Be careful when you talk about clutch and things of that nature. Okay, when there is a man on third and less than 2 out, is that clutch? He's hitting .481 in that situation. All right. I think it depends. We have short memories. I was talking with a good friend of mine who played college baseball. Yeah. His kids all played college baseball on the way here, and he's like, I don't understand, Riley Green, why would you let him hit? Why are people so upset? And I said something similar to what you said. I didn't know that statistic, that it's the first time it's ever happened. I think a lot of managers do this. Yeah. I'm not a big believer in how Aaron Boone manages a game. He took Ben Rice out. He was 2 for 3, and he hit a laser for a home run.
If Aaron Boone wasn't a World Series champion for the New York Yankees, he would have been fired as the head coach, in my opinion, as the skipper.
Yeah, he's. I don't think he's won a World Series as a manager.
No, as a player.
Oh,
I'm saying if he wasn't Aaron Boone, the player that won for the Yankees and was a decent skipper, he would have been fired.
Yeah. So I think we have to. I always ask people, how do we define clutch? So, to your point, if you've got a man on third and 2 outs, and he's batting .171, which is Riley Green's situation, then you've got a serious problem. Yeah. Is that any more clutch or less clutch than a man on third and under 2 outs? Either way, you want to get the run home, and I think you need to come through in the clutch. The argument's valid. Here's my belief.
I would just add to that. Look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers, not just when there's 2 outs or 3 or 1 out. Look at the numbers when they're down versus when they're ahead. Because when they're ahead, Riley Green is Mr. October. But when they're not, Riley Green turns into a 151 batter in that same situation. So that's when I say clutch. I'm not talking about runners on the corners. I'm talking about when it matters in that moment, what type of player are you?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So,
statistically skewed.
Okay,
but yeah.
So here it is. If Detroit's within 2 runs, so they're down, he is a .275 hitter. When they are within 3 runs, he's a .268 hitter. With runners in scoring position and 2 outs, he is a .211 hitter. So we can take numbers, you can, I can, to twist it into our argument all we want.
Fair.
I think a lot of it depends on, and this is where I want to get you as a professional athlete's opinion, I think it depends on how and when he's doing it, and he's doing it in a situation where it seems desperate. He's putting a guy in there who only has 104 at-bats with the Tigers, and it's a .227 pinch hitter. Now, I saw all the people in the media in Detroit say, well, this is why he did it. I wouldn't have done it, but I understand why he did it. What does it do to an athlete? I don't even know if you've been in this situation, for crying out loud. What's it do to an athlete in a situation like that, do you think?
I've been benched, but I've been benched for something off the field.
Not your on-field performance.
100%. I knew that I would eventually, after a quarter, so I'd be back. And first play of the second quarter, it was a touchdown. That's neither here nor there.
It's a good nugget, though.
Miami Dolphins 2010. Just throwing it out there, in Miami, New York. Just look the information up. I was benched the whole first quarter.
That's good.
Due to something off, but then when I got in the game, I got my opportunity.
Yeah.
But I knew why I was getting benched, and I understood it. This I wouldn't necessarily understand as a player. Like Riley Green, we told me, we want you to go out here and hit home runs. We expect you to be a guy that can hit 32 to 40 bombs. And when you do that, you're going to strike out a lot. You're swinging for the fences. This kind of happens with the territory, and I understand that. He's a guy looking for the home run. They've told him to look for the home run. In that sense, why do you bench me?
Right.
Like, in that sense, why are you benching me? I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do, what you paid me to do. And to be honest, let's look what I've done since I was here.
Yeah.
Like, and you bench me. I just think it's confusing. It'll be a confusing thing for Riley Green. Young guy, great temperament, great personality. He's a great guy in that ball club, leader in the dugout. But this is confusing.
It is.
Like, you give me all those things, I don't know how Riley Green will respond. That leads to how an individual is. That's to them.
Sure.
That's an individual.
It's hard for you to get in that head. How would the other players, like you said, he's your best player.
They're watching.
He is. He's
They're
your
watching.
best position player.
Like Shep,
Okay?
they've been watching since it happened yesterday.
Okay.
They've been watching. They've been conversating maybe with each other in their own little chat threads.
Like,
hey,
he doesn't do that to anybody else.
100%. Like, hey, you might have guys like Kerry. You might have like Carps talking to Dingley. Like, hey, what you think? What you think Green gonna do tomorrow? What you think Riley's gonna do? That's how it is now because they haven't seen it happen because it's not something that happens on the norm. So they're watching. They're watching their guy, and I think they're looking for him. Like, there's no scuba pitching today. They're looking to see how Riley Green will respond to being benched. I'm looking to see
I think
how
we
he
all
will
are.
respond.
I
think based on how he responds is how he's going to temperament them. So is it unfair that there's so much being placed on him today? Sure, but what is fair, what is unfair? But they're going to go how he goes today. So it's very important that he shrugged that you-know-what off.
I remind
can.
I remind everybody, and I know it's a collective eye roll.
Yeah.
He's 25, man.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm not saying that I don't understand the move, because I do. I wouldn't have done it. I didn't like it. I wouldn't have done it, but I understand the move considering how much he struggled against lefties this year. I would then ask, why didn't you pinch hit for Kerry
The day
Carpenter?
before.
Okay? Yeah. So he's trying to push any button he possibly can, and I respect that, because what we oftentimes as a fan base say, do whatever you can to win the game.
Sure.
And he has said that. Shake it up. It's not a good Cars song, even though it is. It's what people really want to see.
Then what comes behind this, Shep, is the further questioning. Like, this was his first playoff game. Like, Jahmai Jones. This is his first playoff game ever. So not only did you do that with your best player, you set him down, however you want to phrase it, that's fine. But you set him for a player that this is his very first game, and you talk about how he's hit, how he's played, and how he's done that. Ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't done that since the end of July. So therein lies more questioning behind it. You put a guy in that was first rattle out of the box ever, and he hasn't done what you are putting him in there to do since the end of July, early August.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point.
Yeah.
I would remind people that yesterday Cleveland started a guy in center field who had never played in a Major League Baseball game.
True.
You would know this better than I, but you're an athlete.
Yep.
You're a top-tier athlete. Whether you like it or not, Braylon Edwards, you had to be different.
Yeah.
And you were different for a long period of time. I don't give a rat's ass that it's his first at-bat in the playoffs. Because guess what? At some point, he's got to have his first one. It was Casey Mize's first playoff, too.
Yeah.
And he wasn't terrible. It was Jackson Job's first playoff last year, and he wasn't terrible.
But
so at some point, you got to do it.
But those are difference. The difference in that, and maybe we don't understand because maybe this is a conversation that was had with A.J. Hinch and Jahmai Jones or other players going into this playoff series. But the difference in the left fielder that became the center fielder yesterday for
Chase
the Cleveland
DeLauder.
Guardians or Jackson Joe or Casey Mize is it's different when you know before the game this is what I'm going to do. The conversation was already there. You know what you're going to do. You know what you're walking to at the start of the game. It's another thing when in the middle of the game or in the later innings of the game, you come to a guy that has not played, and you come to him and you tell him, hey, Jahmai, I want you to go in for our best hitter, our best player. We want you to be the one to go in there and take him down. We want you to be the one to go in there and bat for him because he's not playing well. That's a different mental space because now I don't get the night before, I don't get the morning of to kind of process my mind. I get thrown in or thrust into it on the road.
I'm sure he was surprised. I do believe he was told before the game, you've got to be ready.
Okay.
They do that. Absolutely. Good managers, good hitting coaches, good communicators say, I want you to be ready for this. Hell, you and I and Kool-Aid and Ryan get together before a damn show, and we're telling each other where we're going with certain ideas. So guaranteed that he was ready to be a pinch hitter. Now, did he know he was going in for Riley Green? Probably not. But I'll guarantee you that before the game in the hitters meeting, they said, you got to be ready. And I'll guarantee you the inning before, he said, you might have to be ready.
And by that time, he knew it was going to be
Absolutely.
I got you.
Yeah. So I think there's something there. The Chase DeLauder's a really good example, I think. And the other example that you brought up is the Casey Mize. And I was beating myself up about it yesterday, trying to figure out why the hell you did that.
62 and 3.
Yeah, 3 innings, 1 run. It's not like, the strikeout stuff I don't care about. Was he around the plate and all that other stuff? Probably not. Not as much as you would like him to be, because remember the other day Tarek Skubal had 66 pitches through 6. Casey Mize 62 after 3. That tells you something. So he wasn't getting a lot of swing and miss. However, I couldn't understand why you would go to the bullpen so early.
The other thing about just watching the game yesterday with A.J. Hinch in terms of decision making, you might just be dealing with a skipper who's like at his wit's end. He's exhausted.
Yeah.
Like you talk about 15 and a half games that they let go, they let the league go, they lost the division. Do you know how much of this has been going on since July for A.J. Hinch? Figuring out the roster, why this guy isn't pitching well, trying to pitch around him, taking him out of the rotation, bringing this guy up. Now I have to have excuse for why Parker Meadows is back. He's not playing well. Kerry Carpenter is disappearing. Where's Spencer Torkelson? Where's the guy that? So like he's legitimately been doing this since mid to end July, all August, a lot of September. He's just tired.
Yeah,
he's
but
exhausted.
he likes it, man. I mean, don't kid yourself. A.J. Hinch knows the moves that Scott Harris is making and vice versa. They are in simpatico with one another. They know exactly all the moves that are taking place within the organization, and I like A.J. Hinch a ton, okay? I respect the hell out of him. I think he's one of the best, if not the best managers in baseball. But I'm telling you, man, he knows exactly what he's got. Yeah. And I've said this ad nauseum for years, for decades, for Christ's sakes. Can you get me everyday players? And this team seems to love the versatility and the guys who can play all over the place. Yeah. I don't give a crap, okay? I'll go back to the Riley Reef example. When the Lions drafted him, why did you draft Riley Reef when David DeCastro was right there? Because he can play tackle or guard. Why don't you just get the best guard? Just get the best tackle. Get the best wide receiver. Get the best guy you got on your board. Same with the Tigers. When's the last time we had a third baseman? Can somebody raise their hand? Don't give me Matt Vierling sharing time. Right. When's the last time you had a third baseman?
Miguel Cabrera.
And they moved him to first base for a reason, okay? And if you say Nick Castellanos, I'll have to punch you right there in the liver. It's been forever. How do you not address it? Yeah. And it started in the offseason. Cole Keith, we want you to be ready for first base. Dude, just learn second base, for Christ's sakes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how confident I am with the organization right now when they're making these types of decisions.
Seems like they patchworked it last year. They had success, and they tried to patchwork it a little bit this year. I'm not trying to disrespect what the talent is on this team. You got some guys that can play ball, and we've seen that. We've seen them by getting to the playoffs last year, winning a playoff series, and then leading initially this whole season. But you got to have other guys. You got to have guys that are just dudes. You got to have guys when you know they're in the lineup, hey, look, I know we're good. Like teams, and once you get to the postseason, this is where the big boys play. Mm-hmm. This is when the level goes up. Yeah. This is when you see why teams made it. This is when you see the Stephen Kwans coming up when you need him. This is when you see the Jose Ramirez when you need him. This is when you see those type of players.
Did you see what Mookie Betts did last night? 4 for 5.
And the thing about Mookie Betts, I don't want to get too hyped. Let me calm it down. I'm going to save that for Braylon's breakdown. But the thing about Mookie Betts, he's so good and he's been doing it for so long. You don't talk about him because you talk about Shohei. Or you talk
I talk about him because I love him.
You talk about who's having the night, whether it's Teoscar Hernandez, whether it's Kiki Hernandez. Like you just talk about the guys. But Mookie Betts is consistently top 10 player in this league, top 7.
Yeah, I talk when I talk about the Dodgers, I talk about Ohtani, of course. You have to. He's the best player on the planet, so you have to. I talk about Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith
those are the guys, and I don't mean the actor.
How did Boston let Mookie go?
They're stupid.
In layman terms, was it a dumb deal or did I miss something?
It's stupid.
Okay.
It's just stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't understand it either. A premier player in his prime, and you're doing that. The only thing I would push back a little bit, and somebody put this in the chat, and I appreciate it, Torkelson has been, pretty consistent in the second half. It's been about 250 in the second half. It's really not a first half, second half. It's really unfair because the first half, if you quote unquote, he started 90 games. The second half, it's 60, 63, 64, whatever it is. Yeah. But he's a 250 hitter in the second half with 10 homers, 21 homers in the first half. But it's not an even sample size. Okay? So, anyway, I wanted to get people's thoughts in the chat, going a little bit on the Tigers because it's a passionate thing. A lot of people were disappointed. We didn't talk too much about it yesterday. We did keep people updated. They're going to play at 3 o'clock. We're going to talk a ton of football, and we've got Braylon's breakdown coming up on Tate Ratledge.
Best in the business.
And
I'm telling you, Tate Ratledge has been a really good player for Detroit.
Yeah.
You're going to show how he's learning and why he's so good right now. You're going to love this at 3 o'clock.
Also, too, man, just with the baseball aspect of it, one last thing before we get into whatever or take the break. One thing that we didn't talk about, we asked about, just happy to be here, because that's what you and I said. Look, we're in the dance. We got an opportunity. A lot of people, I don't want to play. I want to go home. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. You're morons and you're idiots.
Yeah, I don't get that.
But the one thing about them losing the lead, the one thing about them not getting the bye, you know what we did last year, which was fun, which was watch the game at 1 o'clock. We were so excited. Our team was in playing Houston. We did watch parties here at Woodward Sports. We watched it. We were hyped. We were amazed. That was cool last year because you had no business being in the playoffs. This year, what I'm pissed about the 1 o'clock game. I'm pissed about the 3 o'clock game. We were a prime-time team the whole season. That's one thing that I do wish would have happened. Playing a 1 o'clock game when you put yourself in a situation to be the feature, to be the prime time.
I got a tough question for everybody, including you in the chat.
Can't even watch the game for doing the show.
If you're in the 9th inning,
which I'm not complaining about, by the way.
if you're in the 9th inning and you need an out or two, do you turn to Tarek Skubal today? Knowing that Game 1 against Seattle, he wasn't going to pitch Game 1 anyway, folks.
Yeah.
Game 1 in Seattle of the ALDS is Saturday. Game 2 is Sunday. Why they play on NFL Sundays is beyond me, but that's what they're going to do, okay? So you would want him for Game 2.
If you did that dumb bleep yesterday, then do this dumb bleep today, yes.
You would pitch him.
100%.
You would pitch him knowing that you probably don't get him for Sunday then.
100%.
Okay.
Because
Kool-Aid?
the goal is to extend. The goal is to stay in the
to
dance.
get there, right.
You stay in the dance like, hey, I'm all for it. If you use Skubal, it works for you, you get the W, I think people are like, hey, we made it to the second round, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Sign
okay.
me up for a Skubal in the night.
Fair enough. I mean, you'll probably have to go with a pair of openers on Saturday and Sunday against a really tough lineup, but at least you're there. Okay. Kool-Aid, would you do it?
And not just at least you're there, but at least you finally beat the freaking Guardians. I believe in your own division, that type of stuff matters. They caught you at the end of it and took the title from you at the end. Okay. Yes, I want to extend this, but is there also a little bit of whipped cream and cherry on top of beating the Guardians?
Yeah.
Beat the freaking Guardians.
Yeah.
Like they aggravate me.
There could be something to that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Ryan?
Sorry, I'm making something right now.
Getting
I
ready
would.
for Braylon's breakdown. I see
Yeah,
you.
no, I'm
There's
making
a show
something.
going
Sorry.
on right now.
Yeah, I would. Are you talking about starting Skubal today?
No, I said, would you use him? In the
Use
latter
him.
innings?
Yeah, I would. I'd use him. Yeah, absolutely, I'd use him for a little bit. He had 14 strikeouts. I absolutely would.
Well, yeah, he had 14 strikeouts,
And
but then you're pitching him a 2 days rest.
I was also listening to the radio yesterday, and he mentioned Dan Dickerson mentioned about how hard it is to hit, especially in this time of day as well. And I think maybe
Shadows.
using Skubal towards like the 8th inning, I think would be fine because that's when everything kind of lights back up and you can see the baseball a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would never use him. I would use him only if it was an emergency in the 9th inning.
Okay.
That's where, but in fairness to you, A.J. Hinch doesn't manage for closers and things like that. He manages based on the situation.
They're trying to stay in the postseason.
So maybe you're right. If it was the 8th inning, maybe that's when the high leverage situation calls. Maybe you use him. So
I was gonna say, I feel like trying to stay in the postseason is a desperation situation. It's an emergency.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a situation where you see him, and he wants to.
You're saying all hands on deck is what you're saying.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what are we saving for? Are we saving for a playoff that may not exist, or a playoff game that may not exist?
Right.
Yeah, and then that's when you got to make the thought process.
How do you think that resonates with players?
If he were to pull him in the night,
Just doing whatever you possibly can to win the game.
it means I have to step my bleep up. It means that I have to dial in. I have to focus. I got to make sure that this is serious. All hands on deck, like you just said. All hands on deck. So if this is the conversation, if this is the course of action, then that means this is the desperate times. That means every finite detail has to be played. Has to be paid attention to.
Big in the chat. Okay, super chat from Rando Smalls.
Braylon's
Love this guy.
breakdown.
Love him. I would have Melton ready if Flaherty doesn't have it. We can't get behind too early. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I think you've. Well, go ahead. I jumped in way too quickly.
No. I was just gonna say you're right. You don't want to see this team get behind at all. You saw how they played ahead, and they couldn't do anything to really extend the lead or give themselves those insurance runs, and then later to take the lead. So it's like, man, I'm okay with having Melton ready. I don't think anybody's against that.
Yeah, he only threw 14 pitches. He wasn't very effective.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be a little bit concerned about that, don't you?
Golly, man.
What does this offseason look like for Sky Harris and Detroit Tigers?
I have no idea, and the reason I say that is because I swear to God, I thought they were going to do something bigger than what the.
Bingo.
Sorry, I almost lost
Finnegan?
it when they almost did something.
I was wondering what your answer was going to be as to you have no idea because
I got to be honest.
You're a man of answers, and you're right. That's where I'm at too with them. I'm like, at least with Brad Holmes, you see their plan come to fruition. Even if we disagree with him, I've talked about this on air like for the last 2 or 3 years. Like Brad Holmes, he does things even if I disagree with it. But with the Tigers, it almost just seems like they're stunting their own growth, like they're getting in their own way, and I don't quite know what their direction is. Like you talked about it earlier with the getting a bunch of platoon players rather than going out there and getting the players that we used to know. We used to have a lineup where when they stepped up to the plate, it was like, oh, another one?
Yeah,
that's another one of these.
Yeah,
bats?
that was a long time ago. Let me tell. This is how I look at the Tigers right now. When I was in junior high, we took a typing class, and a buddy of mine named Kurt Preby used to spit into paper, wrap it up, and throw it at the blackboard while the teacher's back was turned. That's what it feels like with the Tigers. We're just throwing a bunch of crap against the wall.
I think that's funny, though.
Okay,
That's hilarious.
and it drives me crazy because I had this debate with a coach a few years ago, and I said, "Don't tell me you don't want everyday players, because." Every manager job is difficult, but when Rob Thompson makes his lineup, he knows who he's putting out there. He knows Trey Turner's at short. He knows JT Realmuto's behind the plate, and Bryce Harper's there, and Schwarber's there. He knows this, okay? He's got to figure out 1 or 2 guys, right? That's not the case with the Tigers.
They're figuring out 7 positions a day.
It doesn't it seem like that?
It does. That's what it feels like.
What other sport could you do that? Could you do that in football? You could. Dan Campbell, there's no flipping way. Dan Campbell goes into a game against Cincinnati this Sunday and goes, you know what? I'm not sure about this, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. Sometimes I'm gonna put Levet in at wide receiver. Yeah. Sometimes I'll put Tesla. Sometimes I'll put Raymond. No, there are packages that you put together for that. There's the plan. The roster, the way it's been constructed, there's a plan playing to the strengths. I don't think the Tigers have that right now.
I don't think the Tigers' picks have hit like the Lions' picks. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The Lions and Brad Holmes, his draft, his picks, his major picks, they've hit in a way that, outside of Harry Roseman and a couple other GMs in the last 25 years, it hasn't happened like that.
You're right.
So the chances when they don't make moves at the trade deadline, like the Tigers, they did get Kyle Finnegan. So when they make moves at the deadline, it's okay because you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's because you have Penei Sewell, you have Jack Campbell, you have Aiden Hutchinson, you have enough guys to where you can get some guys that figured out. That's how the right side of the line looks right now on defense. Al-Qadim Muhammad, Pat O'Connor comes in. So that's where they win. The Tigers players they draft, Casey Myers is the number 1 overall player. He pitched well this season, but it was at number 1 well. Spencer Torkelson, a number 1 overall player. He's playing much better this season than he did in the totality of last season, which he did way better than the totality of the season before that. But is he a number 1 overall player right now? Jackson Jobe. That's the difference right now. Their number 1 overall picks and their major draft picks. The hell, their best player is what, an 8th round pick?
Derek Skubal, 9th round pick. It's
baseball a little different though.
Yeah,
right?
it's much different. Okay. It's completely different because of when you're drafting. It's just like hockey. Those are the 2 sports
18,
that are.
19,
you're projecting is what you're doing, and that's what you're hoping for. Whereas in college football, as you know, I got a chance to go watch you play at the University of Michigan and determine whether or not anything. I thought you were pretty damn good. Okay,
I appreciate that.
But speaking of the Lions and speaking of football, when we come back, they're starting to get some love. Certain players are starting to get some love. I don't think it has anything to do with our rant yesterday, but it does have an association of what we did say about the Lions. We'll get to that when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports after this from Ven Johnson.
Corporations, the government, which is shut down right now, by the way.
Government.
Even your insurance company will do
Like-
whatever it takes
They need
to
not
minimize
apply.
their liability to withhold your compensation. Look, you don't want anybody playing with your chicken, playing with your money, playing with your cheese. So come to Vin Johnson. Vin Johnson will fight for you. Go to vinfights.com. Let him get you in the game. When you have any issues, any questions, any concerns, first person you should be going to is your attorney, and that should be Vin Johnson Law. Like I said, contact them today at vinfights.com.
Speaking of fighting, not that the heavyweights fight, but they do debate pretty well, especially when it comes to football. If you want to see that in action, they will be live at Art and Jake's in the watch party that's taking place at Art and Jake's Sports Bar and Grill this Sunday, October 5th. It's the Lions-Bengals watch party at Art and Jake's. And don't forget, you can stick around afterwards and let your feelings be known in the post-game show with Stick and Anson. Why would you go there? Simple. If you don't want to see the heavyweights and you don't want to see the post-game show, you should at least go there because they got 80 TVs. You're going to be able to watch all the football games and all the baseball games at the same time. They've got 22 beers on tap. You're going to find something that agrees with your palate. And look at the food. Look at the pictures of the food. That really doesn't even do it justice, but it's really, really good. So 4:25 is the kickoff. Lions and Bengals. Be at Art and Jake's, the watch party with the heavyweights right there in Northville. Okay? Do it.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports. Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports.
This is for everyone, and yes, that means you too, the person on the couch that said, even me, yes, you. We're into new journeys. We're trying to get people off the couch. We're trying to get them into the gym, but also there's no judgment. So we bring you in there, man. You work out to the beat of your own drum, work out at your own pace, and also we got trainers on staff to make it happen for you. Now, the locker rooms are squeaky clean, so you don't have to worry about any type of diseases.
That's a
fungus,
big
or any-
deal, I
that-
think.
And that majorly, especially since 2020. I
Yeah.
think this has become a major thing, although it should have been a big deal back in the day.
say no to
But ever
diseases.
since 2020, you know what 2020 was. They have been dedicated to making sure the locker rooms are squeaky clean. And also, look, man, it's over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. You know what? Enough about the gym. You guys like the Lions? Let me get you Lions tickets. Go to any metropolitan Detroit location for Planet Fitness. You go in, you can insert yourself for a chance to win 2 tickets to every single home game this season. And that sounds like a deal.
Get there
Go
quick.
for the Lions tickets and stay for the workout.
Did you hear Kool-Aid's comment?
What did he say?
Say no to diseases.
Hey, that's real.
No,
hey, the CDC is a real thing, man.
This PSA is
pay
brought to you
attention to what
by
the CD says.
Kool-Aid. Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm Kool-Aid. Say no to diseases. We'll be right back. Listen.
His name's Kool-Aid.
Hey, this Sunday afternoon, 4:25, Lions and Bengals. You're going to be tailgating, perhaps. Maybe you're going to Cincinnati. Maybe you're having friends over. I mean, Braylon does that a lot. Has friends over. Hey, man, let's check it out. Bless you. He's got a bunch of guys coming in from out of town because, A, he's popular, and B, it's Michigan homecoming, so they may get together, watch the Lions and the Bengals, and I'll guarantee you know what's going to be on ice? Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, because it is clean, it is crisp, and it will not fill you up. 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, perfect for tailgates, perfect for get-togethers. So this season, let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea and Woodward Sports, but please drink, and I guess to a certain extent, watch responsibly.
Hey. And we back. And the people,
we're back.
Their confidence is low. The poll,
yeah.
35% of the people that said it's low as it relates to Scott Harris and his offseason plans getting it right. They don't think so.
Oh, okay. So the offseason, they're thinking about the offseason already.
Because Bray put that question out there, and I just wanted to ask the people that too, give them a chance to put their voice out there. And 34% right now saying low.
So this is always fascinated me. When it's warm in the studio, when do people lose faith in management, and when do they gain faith? So I would argue, let's use Brad Holmes as an example. I think they gained faith in him when they were proven wrong about Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, and Sam Laporta.
I was.
Okay? All right. When do you lose faith? I think a lot of people may have lost faith in Riley Green when he said strikeouts don't matter. I'm sorry, 201 eventually do. So that's a faux pas on his part. All right. When do you think people have lost faith in Scott Harris?
Deadline.
You had your hand raised, so I'll let you have the first.
Oh no, I was just raising my hand to answer Shep's question. When I gained faith for the Lions was when they got all Gibbs and Laporta. They proved me wrong because I hated all the picks, but they proved me wrong. But I would say the deadline for Scott Harris because
this year's deadline.
Yeah,
not last year. This year.
Or is it just a deadline thing?
Because I think
What's that?
Or is it just a deadline thing? Is it
Just
deadline
in
to
general.
deadline? What did he do last year at the deadline that made you have faith?
Got rid
in
of
what he was
Flaherty.
doing?
He sold and they still
Right,
won.
sold Jack Flaherty.
Right. I think for me it was this past offseason.
I'm not giving him credit for that. Like, you and I can agree to disagree in a friendly way. He got lucky last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to move off that point. Tigers got lucky last year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
And
You don't have to
100%.
argue with me. My point is I think people lost faith in the offseason when he didn't bring what many people felt like he needed to bring in, a power bat and a high level arm. Okay? So Ryan said the trade deadline.
Yeah,
He didn't address that either. Okay? He brought in 2 starters and neither one of them are pitching for you. All right?
He lost me when he gave the feel, and maybe it's the trade deadline this year. Maybe it's just the feel from the start of the season to now, even when the season first started against the Dodgers to when he went on the run until now. It just doesn't seem like there's any pressing matters for the
Sense
Scott
of
Harris.
urgency.
There's no sense of urgency. It seems like, oh, yeah, we got time. We have this great farm system. We're number 1 in the farming system. Our younger players are starting to figure it out. We weren't even supposed to be where we were last year. Hell, this is all like I know you don't like this term, and I'm going to use it for it on purpose. We're playing with house money, if you will. That's how it feels like this season was. It didn't feel like we capitalized, and I love what Gleyber Torres has been for the Detroit Tigers. That was a really good addition. But I don't feel like we made the move after the momentum that we had. And I don't feel like we're using these so-called players that we have in this farm system. Okay, well, if we have so many, if we're number 1, why can't we have 3 where we can, all right, hey, we'll give you these 3, give us a pitcher and
lost me when I look at the 40-man roster.
100%.
And I see that, and I'm like, you know what?
Chilling.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that
I made the postseason.
Yeah. You look at the 40-man roster and say, how many of those guys do I have to have if you're another team? I don't like that philosophy that they have right now in that regard. So, yes, that's a problem. A guy like we'll use Trajan Langdon as an example. I think he won everybody over when, even though they didn't want Tobias Harris, even though they rolled their eyes at Tim Hardaway, and even though they didn't know who the hell Malik Beasley was, the way those guys performed fit in perfectly. And on top of that, what did he do at the trade deadline? Hey, Dennis Schroeder, we could use a guy like this. And look at what it ended up doing. It's not just the winning. It's what he did to help them win more than anything else. Yeah. And I think Scott Harris, a lot of people feel like he's impeded that progress. Kool-Aid, when did he lose you?
He began to lose me a little bit last year, but I wanted to give him
the benefit of the doubt.
The benefit of the doubt. Same thing with Brad Holmes. A lot of moves where I was like, well, I would do this, and it wound up okay. And last year, the playoffs made it okay, the first in a long time. But this year, you wanted to see some growth, and at the deadline, it just felt like he kind of ran it back on like a hope and a whim that, you know what, we got these all-stars, and that they're going to continue this thing out. And I got to be honest, I thought so too, but at the trade deadline, we talked. I remember you and I talked, and you were very adamant, as I was, about this pitching staff and where's that number two. And for you to have called it then and to see exactly where they are right now, and it wasn't addressed when these were questions asked, deadline, man.
Yeah.
That's
serious
really
problem. Serious problem, because you know what you're going to get if they win today. And Saturday, Cater Monteiro is starting. I just want you to know that. He's going to be starting. He's going to start game 1, all right, against Seattle, for crying out loud, who's been rested and can go, you know what? Do I want Luis Castillo? No. Do I want Logan Gilbert? No. Do I want Brian Wu? No. I mean, George Kirby? All right, let's move to football, shall we? The Lions getting ready for the Bengals. I saw an article the other day, and it made me think of what you gave us yesterday, and it blew up on social media, and rightfully so. You had your top 7 players at the quarter pole for the Lions. And you and I disagreed slightly, but this, in case you missed us yesterday, I don't know why you would, but in case you missed us from 2 to 4 yesterday, Braylon gave us his top 7. All right, and here they are. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown 1, Penei Sewell 2, Aiden Hutchinson 3, Jared Goff 4, Jahmyr Gibbs should be 5.
Yeah, we noticed that yesterday. I didn't bust Kool-Aid out yesterday.
No, it was
thanks,
updated one on the show yesterday.
Brian Branch 6, and then Jack Campbell 7.
Yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
There you go. Now you've got it. Thank you very much. Okay, how close do you think Detroit has to any quarter pole besides this? I'm not talking about within this. I'm talking about in the National Football League, close to any possible award winners when the season is over. Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, stuff like that.
I think right now, like the first 2 players that I have on this list, 1 and 2, Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, if they're not in anybody's top 10, then whoever did the list can kiss my you-know-what.
Yeah.
Like, they're legitimately the best 2 players this season at their position. You know, when you want to talk about semantics, I think Jamar Chase overall is a better wideout. I think Justin Jefferson, what he's showing you, is a better wideout. But you want to talk about just this year and the better football players, nobody better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Penei Sewell, you've seen what he's done in the last 3 weeks. Specifically, he's become that number 1 offensive lineman in the league. So those 2 guys better be on the list. Hutch is probably rising up that list. Like, I know his odds have gone up as in terms of defensive player of the year, but in terms of just best players, there's still some other guys out there. And we just saw one this past week in Cleveland Browns, so he's probably not on there. Definitely not Jared Goff. Yeah. Campbell's not there yet. Brian Branch is that player but hasn't had that season yet. And Jahmyr is just stagnant right now. We know it's going to be a good year. It's going to finish with the numbers, but he hasn't had that right so far.
All right, couple things there. All right, so Jared Goff is, and I love looking at this, even though I'm sure it doesn't matter a whole lot, but I love looking at these quarterback rankings every week that the various websites put out, and I read one this morning that had him 3rd. He was 3rd in the National Football League. Josh Allen, then, believe it or not, after Josh Allen at number 1, they had number
Stafford.
2. No, they had, who did they have?
Herbert?
No, they didn't have Herbert. Goff was 3 at 2. I don't know if it wasn't Patrick Mahomes is who they had.
Okay.
So they had Allen, Holmes, and then Goff. So I thought to myself, well, he's climbing. Okay, that's a positive.
How much further do you want him to go? The two guys in front of him got MVPs.
Well, I was thinking about it because you and I were having that conversation. Is he the best pocket passer in the National Football League? We had that discussion 2 days ago. And
one aspect of the quarterback position.
Right, one aspect of the quarterback position. Absolutely right. Sewell is seen as the interior, or I should say the offensive lineman of the year right now, inside track. But you bring up Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't give it a whole lot of credence, but the more you talk about it, the more I think to myself, maybe he is the best wide receiver in the National. I love Jamar Chase. Yeah. Justin Jefferson's amazing. There's a lot of really good players at that position. Right. But the stuff that you say about him, if he was your size, we wouldn't be saying about it. We would be talking about him like he is number one. I think they hold him back. I'm talking about nationally now. Because of his diminutive stature. How far off base do you think I am there?
You're not far off base, and I'm going to say this, and please take this with a grain of salt. This isn't me talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. This isn't me knocking him. This isn't me telling you why. I'm telling you, this is the perception, and this is why. He doesn't do anything special. Like, when you think of the number one players, like, it's like when you think of what they perceive, Randy Moss ain't blocking nobody. Randy Moss wasn't necessarily the best at making sure everybody was dialed into the offense or knowing all the things, or he's the example. Randy Moss is the reason why his nickname was the Super Freak. He's a freak of nature. He's a 4'2" guy that's 6'4". He's going to go out there. He has great hands. He's a football player. He's going to make all the catches. You're going to throw him down the field. All he needs is 3 catches. He'll give you 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. You saw that on Thanksgiving against the Dallas Cowboys. He broke the record for touchdowns in the season. But in terms of football player, there were better football players that played wide receiver at the time. So I think it's like that. Jamar Chase, it's freaky. It's the potential. It's the one-hand catches. It's climbing the ladder. It's doing things you haven't seen. It's Jamar Chase with the attitude that when you want to say that he's not the guy last year, he comes out, not only tells the press, tells his team, throw me the ball and you'll see results. And then where does he go? He went out next game and had 240. Like, it's that type of stuff. Amon-Ra is damn good at everything. But
my pushback would be, I don't think just because a guy is pissed off that he's not getting the ball and starts talking about it, hi A.J. Brown, doesn't mean that he's going to be a better receiver. I think of all the things that you've helped educate all of us on as a wide receiver: route running, pass catching it with your hands, blocking, teammate. And when I say teammate, I don't mean in the locker room. I'm talking about blocking for another guy, not being selfish, all those things put into one. Now, if you want to rip on his speed, okay, that's fine.
But are we talking about who's a better football player, or are we talking about who's a better wide receiver?
I'm talking about a better wide receiver.
They're different. Because the wide receiver position just talks about the wide receiver position. You can take blocking out of it. Because I'm talking about the wide receiver position and who's better, I'm talking about just wide receiver. I could care less how good of a blocker you are.
Really?
Blocking was one of the best things that I did.
But you always say that's part of the position.
It is a part of the position, but you're talking about who's the better wide receiver. That's more so what I'm talking about. Randy Moss ain't never blocked nobody. He's the best wide receiver of all time, not named Jerry Rice. You don't have to block to be considered a wide receiver because you look at it through the landscape of just what a wide receiver does.
Okay. All right. That's a new take for me.
How many times did you see Calvin Johnson cleaning people out?
Well, I don't think it's something that we looked at particularly.
Because he's not doing it on that type of a clip.
But he did do it.
From time to time.
From time to time. Right. But if that's not what a wide receiver is, so I want to make sure I'm clear here because I don't want to mix up the verbiage here. If that's not what a wide receiver is, why do we bring it up at all?
Because this is what we talk about. Who's the best at this? Who's the top 5? Who's the top 3? That's what people care about, so that's what you continuously do. I think a better wide receiver is Jamar Chase. I don't want to get anybody get pissed in their feelings. Just wide receiver is Jamar Chase. If you're talking about best football player, then it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. You bring in Jamar Chase to this team and allow him to do the same things we've been watching him do since high school, since LSU, his whole time at the NFL. You put him on this team, he's going to do some ridiculous things.
Okay.
Like what Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't think will be any different than Jamar Chase will be doing with this offense. I just think he's a better wide receiver. I think he's a better route runner. I think he's faster. I think he's been doing it longer. Shoot me.
Yeah. No. Look, I respect the hell out of it. I'm just wondering. You're the one who tried, or you're the one who convinced me. Our conversation.
I'd say he's a better football player. You can be a better player and not better at that position. That's more so what I'm saying.
Okay. Can you give me I don't want to put you on the spot. Give me another example.
Josh Allen's a better football player than Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's a much better quarterback.
Okay. There we go.
Like, Josh Allen's a better football player.
You were ready for that, weren't you?
Well, as you start talking, I literally had to process it. I was like, all right, I know he's going to ask me to give an example. So I just thought about that. Matt Stafford is a much better quarterback, I believe, than Josh. Let me not say much better. He's a better quarterback than Josh Allen. But if you tell you who's a better football player, better football player is Josh Allen.
All
Josh Allen can do it all. He's run, he blocks, he does it with a smile, he does the things, he gets the locker room going, he's vocal, he runs, like he's physical.
That's good.
He's a better football player.
All right. I love it. Thank you for being ready and
see,
and
now
giving
you
it
say
right
it that
back.
way, now it's like, okay, that's not such a slight. When I say it that way, now it doesn't seem like a slight. Before, when I'm saying it seems as I'm sliding Amon-Ra in favor of J-Mo.
No, that's what I said. It doesn't mean I necessarily agree with you on that one either.
I feel you.
I can disagree with you. I feel like Josh Allen's better than Matthew Stafford right now.
Yeah.
Who would I rather have? And again, just because you take one guy over another guy doesn't mean it's a slight on the other guy. Because you know how I feel about Matthew Stafford. You know how I feel about Jamar Chase. I think he's unbelievable. You know how I feel about Micah Parsons. But there are certain. It's okay to say, you know what? I think I'd rather have this dude on my team instead of certain other bigger name wide receivers because of all the things that are wrapped up in one. But you're talking about game-breaking ability and what he does strictly as a guy who catches passes.
And I'm also talking about everything. Like, and you can't do this, so it's not fair, but life isn't fair. Where would that wide receiver or where would that player be on a different team? Like a less than team. What does Amon-Ra St. Brown look like playing for the New Orleans Saints? What does he look like playing for the L.A. Raiders? Excuse me.
Wow, come on, man. I mean, those are two crappy teams with crappy quarterbacks.
But what I'm saying is the guys that I believe are the best, like Randy Moss is going to be Randy Moss pretty much in every team if he has a quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you give the New Orleans example when they don't have a quarterback, or the Vegas Raiders when they don't have a quarterback?
Shep, I'm done talking about this conversation. At the end of the day, I think that Jamar Chase is a better wide receiver than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I understand.
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a better football player. Who would I trust more? I would trust Amon-Ra St. Brown more. If I'm starting a franchise, I'm getting Jamar Chase as my wide receiver.
All right.
Like if I have the first range and I'm picking a player, I'm picking Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase.
All right. Then that's a little clearer for me. I appreciate that. Number one, if you want a wide receiver, I got it. Okay. Yeah. The ESPN article that I'm referring to also has Coach of the Year. And the Coach of the Year they have as number 3, Sean McVay of the Rams. Done a good job so far, right? Absolutely. Shane Steichen, you've talked about before, from the Colts. Mm-hmm. And Dan Campbell, number 1. And it goes back to what you and I were talking about yesterday. So here's what it says. Coach of the Year often becomes the award honoring the guy whose team most exceeds the preseason expectations, which is why we end up with situations like Brian Daboll and Matt Nagy have as many Coach of the Year awards as Andy Reid and more than Mike Tomlin, which makes no sense, but it's true. There's real merit in taking a bad team to the postseason, but Daboll's Giants were built on their performance in one-score games, I should say. Campbell hasn't had to make many tough decisions on fourth downs this season, but the Lions have scored 28 points on drives that included converting at least one fourth down, the second most in the league. His decision to go for it late against the Ravens was rewarded by a completion to Amon-Ra St. Brown and then a touchdown run to seal the victory. All right? So they bring up some of the fourth down, which he's associated with. But the things that you and I were talking about with Dan Campbell yesterday, I think get avoided. And I know they only have so much room to write. But I think at least at the quarter poll and at least one website kind of validates what you and I were discussing regarding Dan Campbell yesterday.
Yeah, what I don't like, I'm happy he's there, number 1, but like I told you, I don't care about the national media because they tend to only do things when they have to. See, now they're forced to put Dan Campbell number 1. You know why? It's because they got blown off week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, and how did they respond when everybody thought, I told you the coordinators were the problem. I told you it was Ben Johnson and not and Aaron Glenn and not Dan Campbell. Everybody was excited because they said now the Detroit Lions project is over. Joke's on you. They go 3 wins in the last 3 games, and they're looking like the team they were last year, even ahead in a lot of statistics. It's nothing you can say.
Yeah.
Because there is no Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Because there is no Aaron Glenn. Because it's the same team. Because it looks better. And because he's doing it his way. And like you said, fourth down, he hasn't done it as much, but it's just as efficient, if not more efficient this year. So they don't have a choice anymore. But we talked about this going into this season. I said this would be the year for Jared Goff to potentially win an MVP, and this would be the year that Dan Campbell would win Coach of the Year. Because not having those coordinators, they will have to give him the credit for what his team does. You can't give this credit to Kelvin Shepard solely on the defense. You can't give this credit to Johnny Morton solely on the offense, because there is one constant that was there during both these teams, and that's Dan Campbell was the head coach. But that going into the season, I knew this would be his opportunity because people look at it differently.
Speaking of those coaches, Kelvin Shepard and Dan Campbell both alluded to, I don't have the exact verbiage, but both alluded to Aleem McNeil is ready to go.
Yeah.
When do you think we should be able to see Aleem McNeil?
So we have a bye week coming up, don't we? So
they got 21 days to activate him. The bye week, I believe, so they've got Cincinnati, Kansas City,
and then the Bucks,
and then the Bucks, and then the bye, and then Minnesota, right? Or is it the other way around? Either way, I mean,
I think it's a bye, then Minnesota.
Okay,
Minnesota.
Wow, because it sounds like, based on the clip I heard from Kelvin Shepard, it sounds like he's
chomping at the bit.
He's a lot closer than you think. Like Dan Campbell said, all I really need to see, I've already seen what all I need to see. Or maybe Kelvin Shepard said that.
So pitch count against the Chiefs? Like, that's less than 21 days. Where they activated 2 days ago, so you still will have 19 days, give or take. So that's the Bucks game.
I think you're going to see him against the Bucks. I do. I think you're going to see Aleem McNeil. Now think about that, man. I mean, that's, first of all, that's a hell of a recovery.
If he's ready, he's ready. Like, realistically,
do you have to be? How careful do you have to be, though?
If he's ready for the Bucks game, if he's going to be ready after the Bucks game, you get a bye week of 7 days, and you play it. You see 14 days essentially. If he's ready in 14 days, he's ready now. Like, if he's going to be ready 14 days after the Bucks game, he's ready now. I've been through, actually, you know what? The Hutch thing, I said I've been through a major injury like Hutch, so I can kind of empathize. I went through the ACL process. I went through that exact same process. I was ready before the season started. I was probably surgery January 2nd. I was ready to go. That's kind of funny. I was ready to go probably like July 20th. I was ready to go, but I went through training camp, wore the McDavid knee brace, which I hated, by the way. Went through that, put the sleeve on, had a couple plays in preseason, figured the mental side out, and then started the season. If he's ready to go 14 days after that Bucks game, he's ready to go in the Bucks game, and that might be where you see a pitch count. May get him in there for 8 plays, 6 plays.
Would love to see that. I mean, that would be awesome. You would
then you get him a bye week to rest.
You would kind of ease him into it, would you?
That actually does make a little sense. You get him in there 6 to 10 plays, and then you immediately have a rest period, and then you have another week until you play that game again. That could be a good plan.
Let me give you a mind-blowing statistic here real quick. We're going to have Braylon's breakdown coming up at 3 o'clock. He's going to look at Tate Ratledge. It's going to be awesome, like they all are. Dan Orlovsky sent out something the other day, and he said he was thinking about the Baltimore Ravens, and immediately I thought of you. And he said the Baltimore Ravens rank 32nd out of 32 teams of turning and handing the ball off to a running back on down number 1 or down number 2. Okay, so they rank 32nd. But when they do turn and hand the ball off, they average 6 yards per carry.
Lamar Jackson's numbers are figured into that, but
is that crazy? You got Derrick Henry, and you're only turning and giving it to him on first or second down, and you're ranking 32nd. But when you do, he or someone like him is picking up 6 yards. Why wouldn't? I mean, this is a smart franchise, right? John Harbaugh is supposedly a really good coach. Why wouldn't you do that more?
John Harbaugh is a special teams coach, man. He hasn't figured it out as it relates to the offense. I legitimately get so pissed. Tennessee did this a lot, too. They don't give Derrick Henry the ball when I feel like they should. And Baltimore does it as well. How many times did you see last year Derrick Henry gets a big run from the 20 to the other 20, and he's out the game. Here comes Justice Hill. Or here comes another one of these running backs that they're trotting out there. Or here comes some wacky offense that they're trying inside the 10-yard line. Lamar Jackson doing a double pass with freaking Rashad Bateman. You legitimately got a mutant in the backfield. But this is what they do. They did it against Buffalo. And to come back, he didn't even play the rest of that game. I get that. They did that against Cleveland when they got stopped, and they did it against us. They don't put him in spaces where I think you should give him the ball. He's a guy that gets stopped a lot. And I think they know that as well. I don't know how to explain it.
Dude, it doesn't make a lot of sense, though.
It doesn't.
He's one of the best at what he does. He's one of the biggest, most physical players. On the other hand, you have taught me, look, at times he can go down relatively easy.
True, 100%. I told you, he's not soft, but he's not as physical of a specimen running between the tackles. They use him as a decoy in the red zone. The infamous play where Jack Campbell does the fake and they jump and DJ Reed and everybody. Remember that play? Alex Anzalone has him in coverage. Alex Anzalone stopped covering him. He left him to come cover Lamar because they knew he'd use him as a decoy.
Right. That was a Braylon's breakdown, by the way.
How do you use Derrick Henry as a decoy on the 2-yard line?
I have no idea.
2 yard. If he's 6'5", 240. If he falls, he's in the end zone.
You would think so. Yeah.
But not so fast because number 55 was waiting for him, Derek Barnes.
Yeah. Well, that was a previous Braylon's breakdown. He talked about Jack Campbell. He talked about not leaving his feet, faking like he was leaving his feet.
Brian Branch.
And it was a phenomenal breakdown. The one we have when we come back will be just as good. I can promise you that. Tate Ratledge. How good has he been? How has he grown? And what has he done to grow and get better already this season, his rookie campaign? Braylon Edwards breaks down the second-round pick out of Georgia when we come back on the Braylon Edwards Show.
Recovery is where winners are made, and Smoothie King has a clean ingredients, real fruit, and protein to help refuel that comeback. You got to go check these smoothies out, man. These smoothies are very good. We have them in the studio. We will have more tomorrow as well as Monday. The proteins in these, my God, they do the job of refueling you and bringing you back to life. Because everybody's working out, right? Everybody's going to Planet Fitness, but you need to be going to Smoothie King after that. Join me. Download the Healthy Rewards app. Make sure you download it. Scan this QR code as part of that as well. Part of this, too, is the High School Athlete of the Week. And I'm so excited. We have our first winner, and we will announce it tomorrow. We actually will have him on the mix. Yes, it is him. He is a football player, and we will tell you the rest of the details tomorrow. But if you scan this QR code above my head, you can nominate your own Athlete of the Week, Smoothie King Athlete of the Week. Scan the QR code above my head. Get your individuals in line to potentially be the Smoothie King High School Player of the Week.
It gives you fuel, is what he's basically telling you. And if you want fuel and you need to go from point A to point B, Les Stanford and LesStanford.com is the place to go. A is absolutely right. Look at the deals that they have right now. $229 a month for the Equinox EV LT plus tax. $489 plus tax for the 2025 Lyric Luxury One Cadillac right now. Sign and drive, zero due at delivery. And then the 2025 Hummer EV SUT, it's only $599 a month plus tax. It's LesStanford.com. The inventory is vast. All you got to do is go to their website, check them out today, and soon you'll be driving off that lot with a vehicle that fits your budget and fits your personality. LesStanford.com.
The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Ball looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
Jack's Car Wash is the car wash for you. Look, we want to get you a free car wash. The weather is still holding up in this beautiful elongated summer. So why don't you do this? Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Look, man, I come up here every single day and I tell you about Jack's. I tell you about the compressed air. I tell you about the free vacuums. I tell you about the unlimited plan. It's time for you to go to action. It's time for you to listen to what I'm saying. Pull up at any Jack's around the state. There's over 40 of them. You pull up, you sign up, you're done. You can get car washes the rest of the month. $29.99, that's all it takes. Sign up with Jack's today.
So my wife's got some friends in town, so she looks at me earlier today and says, by the way, you might have to get a pizza tonight. And I thought, that's okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You're not breaking my heart there, okay? Are you trying to tell me that I get to order Buddy's Pizza? That's what I'm trying to tell you. With 22 locations throughout the state of Michigan, that's what I'm telling you.
Hey.
The original Detroit-style pizza that's been around since 1946, that's what I'm telling you. You mean the one where I can just use the promo code, save 10% by going promo code 10meal and save some money? That's what I'm telling you. And I said, I'm in. It's okay. Stay out with your friends as long as you want. Just give me the right Buddy's Pizza, buddyspizza.com, and I'm happy as you can get.
Hey, and we back.
All right, favorite segment, not of the day, but of the week. And we've been spoiled because yesterday we had Braylon's breakdown, and it was a lot of fun to check out and see the different players that Braylon likes to highlight and say, this guy's doing well, this guy needs to get better at this certain aspect. And today we get a chance to look at, yesterday was Aiden Hutchinson. Today we get to take a look at another lineman. I love that it's not just wide receivers, and it hasn't been just wide receivers. We've only done 2 wide receivers. This time it is the second-round pick out of Georgia, the right guard, Tate Ratledge. Take it away, Braylon.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight Tate Ratledge, man. I wanted to show how he's been doing this season. Obviously, the start of the season was a little bit rocky against the Green Bay Packers. It was in Green Bay. Green Bay got off to a fast start. The rest is history. But I think he's settled into the position. I think he's settling in, and he's doing well. No sacks given up in the last 3 games. We understand that. He's part of the reason why. Let's take a look at the big fella right here on the line, if you shall. Tate Ratledge right here, right guard. This play right here, I do believe this is fellow alum Mason Graham, University of Michigan Wolverines, number 94. Now he's a first round draft pick going against a second round draft pick. Georgia versus U of M. Last time these two played, I would like to say Georgia got the better of the University of Michigan. Let's see how this play plays out. Tate Ratledge got low already. Boom. Drive. Rewind already. Rewind. Look at the drive. Look at the hat placement. I told you yesterday when we were breaking down Aiden Hutchinson, it doesn't matter what position you play in football. The low man wins, like Shep says. Watch how low he is and watch the hand placement as an offensive line. If you can get your hands inside the numbers, that is literally right on that 9 and right on that 4. If you can get that and grip that and you're low, You got a chance to win. Let's see how he fares with his hands low. Boom, punch. He's already won. He's already won. He's already run. He's already won. Wow. He's already won. You got the big fella, too. Shout out to Graham Glasgow. I got to keep giving him credit because we said a lot about him playing center to start the season. Graham goes to the second level. He's worried about the guy at the line of scrimmage, which is Mason Graham. And watch them push the pile. Watch them take them back on this. Jahmyr Gibbs, easy touchdown for him, and you got the other guys blocking as well. But watch Graham Glasgow take the second level, and then just watch Tate Rallies manhandle. Yes, I said it. I know it sucks to say. But watch Tate manhandle Mason Graham on this play. Hit it again. And he's driving him. Good stalemate. I mean, Mason didn't get necessarily pushed back, but he did his job. He put his hands in there. He did his job. And Jahmyr Gibbs gets to look at this. Imagine being a running back, Shep. I think you might be able to go for 2 or 3 yards.
No.
Yeah, okay, at least you're honest.
No,
at least you're honest. I can give you a good 2. He'll play again on this one. It's just good. This is what you want to see. Wasn't necessarily doing that. He puts his hands in there. He's driving his feet. Pay attention to that because I'm going to show you another play that happened where he didn't necessarily continue to drive his feet, and it cost him a touchdown. We don't just show the good plays. We show all the plays.
Can I bring something up that you showed me?
Go
okay.
ahead. Man,
Christian Mahogany's the left guard. You talk about reaching a lot.
Yeah.
First step and hands. You showed me this. Christian Mahogany reaching to the outside and at least just getting enough of the Cleveland defender so he doesn't catch Gibbs from behind.
Just looking from right here, what Mahogany wants to do, Mahogany does not want the interior defensive lineman to cut through him and be able to stop this in any way. He doesn't want this. So his job is to make sure I'm stepping hard to the right so I can close the gap between myself, Graham Glasgow, without stepping on Jared, mind you, so that this doesn't creep in here. So you don't get any seepage, which allows him to be smooth on the whole way out. And then you can watch it and you see it. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Like, just look at now. Look at the angle. He's already adjusting his body, getting ready. And he's low, too, so that he can get this cutoff right here. Seal that, as they call it. Hit it. Ryan? Oh, yeah, he sealed it. And that's okay to get beat behind. Because you get beat behind, you did your job. You got in front of him. He has to run around you. Last time I checked, Jahmyr Gibbs runs 4.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big fella running around, he's not going to catch up to Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't think so.
100%. So Mahogany does his job. But just look at this. Just look at this right here. Obviously, he can't go through here because you got this guy coming, this guy coming. But just look at this. One-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. Look at the placement of all the players. Look at Panay.
Yeah.
Look at Panay. Look at where the hand placement is. Look at Tate Rallies. Look at where the hand placement is. And he's also turning with the defensive tackle. Yeah. So he's got the leverage. The defensive tackle wants to go this way, so will I. He wants to go this way, so will I. And then you got the big fella. You know they bring him in for the blocker duties, Brock Wright. This is a good design play, and it was an easy touchdown. Hit play, let it run. Boom, boom. Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course. Like they just don't even want any parts.
Yeah.
Like, go to the end of that if you would.
It's really
just look
good.
up here. Just look at the DB. I think this is Denzel Ward, who was the highest paid DB in the league at one point. He's just over it. He's just giving up. When you beat him up in the run game, Shep, makes it easy in the pass game. Yeah. Makes it easy in the pass game.
Love that.
Next play. Good job by the
great
offensive
stuff,
line.
man. I mean, it shows you just how big and strong those guys up front have to be. Their lower bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, look at their legs, look at the asses on those guys. I mean, those are big bodies. Those are big bodies. Yeah.
This is exactly the conversation. You can tell that they have meetings where they're focusing in on the blocking assignments. I'm talking about all the players on offense meeting with the offensive line coach. We did that when I was in New York. We would meet with Bill Callahan, and we would go over stuff.
Really good offensive line coach.
100%.
Yeah.
Too bad his son can't figure out his OCS.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
That's a tough job to take. All right, here we go. We got the big fella. This time is nice and easy for it. I don't like this red, but we'll use it for today. Tate Rallies right here. Mason Graham lined up. You see he's arced right at the inside hip of Mason Graham. So he's coming on this play. Hit play. Boom. Try to hit him with a move. Rewind it. Rewind it. Rewind it. He tried to hit him with a move. He tried to dance a little bit at the line of scrimmage, try to swim him. Tate stayed firm. Tate stayed stout. He didn't move. He had good spacing between his feet. Same thing we said about Jahmyr Gibbs that day. Spacing in the feet. The spacing of the feet is important. Watch it again. You'll see Mason Graham try to do a little shimmy with the hands. Hit play, Ryan. I appreciate you. Try to hit him with a little something right here. Let's look what the position is. Look at where the position is before Demo even gets the ball. Before Demo gets the ball, remember I tell you Demo's responsible for one man? Well, right now it looks like he's going to be responsible for It'll be this linebacker or this linebacker. Play. Yep. And it's 49. Just look at this, though. Look at where he's at. Look at where he pushed him. And keep in mind, remember where he was anchored. I mean, remember he was cocked, for lack of a better word. He was cocked on this angle right here, on a slanted angle. He gets pushed all the way out here. Like, look at where his angle is. This is a great job by Tate Ratledge because where he is, his leverage, he should be able to close here. He should be able to get here, hit play. It doesn't happen like that. And they fake the double team. Penei Sewell lets the big fella go one-on-one.
Boy, that is really good.
When you see an offensive lineman, when you see a defensive lineman look like this, and then you see the offensive lineman's not holding, sir, you got served. You got served. And I ain't talking about the movie. Next play, if you will. This is another, but see, this is what Jared Goff was talking about, wanting to use the running backs more. Last couple games, he hasn't necessarily gotten the ball to Jameer and David Montgomery in the flats, little check downs. He says he wants to do more of that, less home run. You get the ball right here. You get spacing, Don't forget, this isn't 26, this is 5. You know Demo loves the contact, so sometimes Jared can take those throws.
And by the way, that 49, folks, is Carson Swessinger. He's right now the inside track for Defensive Rookie of the Year for a lot of people. He's had a really good start for Cleveland as a second-round pick out of UCLA. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Next play. All right, let's see what we got on this one. This is – let's let it run for a second, Ryan. Lost my –
So this time Mason Graham's over Graham Glasgow. It's Michigan on Michigan.
All right, you can run it back. Do. Run it all the way back. Okay, cool. Here we go. Tate Ratledge. And then we got Graham. All right, Michigan on Michigan, hit play. This probably be a chip. Okay.
He's pulling.
Here we go, rewind it. Last year we talked about how good Kevin Zeitler was as the right guard pulling. Kevin Zeitler had a really good year for the Detroit Lions last year. One of the things he did well, as just being stout, he also could get out on the run, and that's what allowed Jameer to have a lot of success as well as Dave Montgomery. Hit play. Watch the big fella run. 6'6", 320. I repeat, 6'6", 320. Watch the big guy move. Hit play. This will be a delayed play. You got to be patient on this play. You got to be patient. You see how he takes a step? He's looking for guys, and the guys are falling on around, so his job becomes easier. But take it all the way back. I just wanted you to see the patience and the speed at which 6'6", 320 got out. He's patient here, doesn't trip over Brock Wright, and then he allows himself to get up, and you just watch Jameer follow him. It's pretty easy. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best defensive line in the league. Look at this. Big fella moving. These are extra yards. By him getting out there, Jameer, first time he gets touched, let's see, ball's right here at the 45. First time he gets touched, I ain't counting that. 5, 6. And then the extra is because
35, 34, 33-yard line.
100%. Yeah. This is good stuff by Tate Ratledge. Put the one play on there where he could have been better. Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is going to be the play. Remember the play that I told you? I showed you I showed you Tate driving his feet. I showed you him staying low, staying engaged, driving his feet, led to the touchdown. This is what happened if you don't stay engaged. 49 is going to be Tate's guy. He's going to initially get Tate, but watch what happens. Hit play. Watch who makes the tackle. Watch who makes the play. You can just let the whole play, and then we'll come back. Boom, boom, gets the chip. He's got his guy, does his job. Oh! Rewind it back.
So he didn't make the tackle, but it did affect the play.
But he tripped Jameer Gibbs.
Affect the play. Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, if this guy's covered, Jameer Gibbs, we talk about the speed, his one move is he had one guy to worry about. He would have been able to get there. Hit play again. Tate does a great job initially coming to a quick chip. Got 49, size up. Now, 49 is kind of tough sometimes when linebackers play off because obviously linebackers are faster. Linebackers are more agile. When they play off and have space, they can wiggle a little bit on the offensive lineman, so you want to close that gap as fast as you can. He didn't close the gap. Right now, if he takes his guy, Jameer's guy is 33. Like, Jameer's one.
He's going to make him miss.
100. The running back is responsible for one man. The safety in this play is who he's responsible for, You got this matched up. Backside's covered. You got this is covered right here. This is supposed to be sealed. Panay, you always know Panay is doing this thing. He's always sealed. This play is supposed to be him come here, him hit a little jukey, touchdown. That's what it should like.
A little shake
but
and bake.
because of him not being able to continue to run his feet, because he didn't close that gap, hit play. Watch the. See, now if he now rewind a little bit, you had it right. I'm sorry. Right there. Right. Leave it here. Hit pause. If he would have blocked him, if he would have taken him, ran his feet, stayed engaged, Jameer's responsibility is 33. Watch 33 on this. Watch 33 if there's no him. Hit play. It's touchdown.
Gone.
Because he's going to outrun 43-0. Only reason why he looked at them is because he got tripped by 49. Or he got a little bit of tangle with 49. If he doesn't get touched by 49, he puts the move on him, doesn't worry about 43, he's gone.
So what is Ratledge in that role right there? What did he need to do better? He reached Schlesinger fine, but what didn't he do to complete the AF?
Stayed on the tip too long, realistically.
He did stay on
Stay on the tip a little bit too long and allowed him to drag his feet. Just to get a quick pop. All he needed was a pop. Watch this.
So the chip is on the DT.
Yeah, the chip is on the D tackle.
Right there.
Now, he really could have went through that. Because you see where he's going? He's already passing. Which, if he's coming towards you now, that means that Graham Glasgow has turned him this way. That means that this is good. So he could have just really just came off a little chip and got two. I mean, I'm nitpicking right now, but when you're talking about an offensive line is playing as well as them, taking it to the next level, little things like this, they're relevant. So, yeah, if he would have got to him a little faster, got off this chip better, 49 would have been out the picture, 33 would have got shook. And
to the house.
It's to the house.
Yeah.
It's to the house on that one.
That's so good.
But this is good to see from your young fella that you can be coached within the game, because this play came before the other play. So you got a chance to see him grow within the game. So that's what you want to see from this offensive line. That's what you want to see from Graham Glasgow. Him too. But Tate Ratledge, he had big shoes to fill.
Yep.
He had huge shoes
but
to fill.
But he's done a really nice job with it. And there's, as you pointed out, there's no doubt that Penei Sewell has helped him. Graham Glasgow has helped him. I'm glad you brought up Graham Glasgow, just because if there was one player, I think a lot of people, after the Green Bay game, if there was one player people really took dead aim on, was Graham Glasgow, thinking that he was not up to the challenge of replacing Frank Ragnow, who is hard to be replaced. I mean, he's really irreplaceable. But, boy, he's settled in nicely. And I give that interior part. We know the tackles have been really good. Taylor Decker probably doesn't get enough credit. But the interior part of that offensive line has really done a nice job of coming together so far, anyway, the last three games.
Yeah, and everybody, a lot of people that didn't know ball, they were like, oh, he's not going to be able to replace Frank Ragnow. They don't watch film. They don't know. When you watch film is when you see how a guy's doing. Graham Glasgow is having a really good year. He's at where he's supposed to be. Like, that's where you want an offensive lineman. Are you blocking who you're supposed to block? And are you legitimately staying on your block? And are you at where you're supposed to be? He seems to be doing that since the first game. So that's what you want.
All right, biggest surprises, biggest disappointments so far through the quarter pole of the NFL season. We will get to that on the Braylon Edwards Show when we come back. Great stuff right there on the Braylon Edwards Show and Braylon's
You can
breakdown.
only see that here on the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. Nowhere else on the network.
Braylon Edwards, Braylon's Breakdown, 2 to 4, Thursdays, 3 o'clock, here on Woodward Sports. We're back after this.
Hey, and you know what? Let's hear from Black Rock and Lady James.
All right, Black Rock, check this out. You know what they have. You know what time it is. It's Thursday or if it's Friday. Why don't you pull up, man? Why don't you pull up and get some of Braylon's beef? 20-ounce New York strip, man. I'm keep trying to tell you guys, man. And it's also for a limited time only. The steak, and I heard you guys are funny in the chat, the comment section too. I saw some of those comments yesterday. Pipe down, you guys are disgusting. Steak and lobster, $19.99, limited time only, or you can get Braylon's beef. Also, remember the fish and chips, $14.99. These are limited time only, so you want to go make sure you check it out. They are sizzle above the rest, but they also want ways to help you win. If the Lions win, you win. Anytime Detroit Lions win, you can pull up to a Black Rock, get a free appetizer. All you gotta do is mention Woodward Sports and the appetizer. It's free of charge. Go to Black Rock, man. You go where we go.
Somebody's already in the chat saying, great breakdown, Braylon. Appreciate the film study. We've got more from the chat when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Look, we know your time is valuable. That's why we greatly appreciate all your interaction in the chat. And Lady Jane's is really appreciative of your time too, and understanding how you've got busy lives. So they make it easy for you. They make it very convenient for you. They keep it clean, they keep it fresh, and they give you a clean, fresh haircut for men. All you got to do is walk in, sign in, and boom, you're in the chair. Next thing you know, you're out the door. It's Lady Jane's, open for your convenience every day of the week, 10 till 8. Lady Jane's. It is wicked awesome.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep
Edwards has it. 10, 5, touchdown.
on the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep,
Ball looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it, only on the Woodward Sports Network. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shep Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
To steal a line from my friend Kool-Aid, a shout out to Jack Flaherty. He got through the first inning. Good for him. But a bigger shout out to Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning, because they have been around working the community and working you as friends and knowing that they want to do what's best for you and your home for over 40 years. It's heating and cooling. It's water heaters. It's generators. It's a really good membership opportunity. It is indoor air quality. It's Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. And right now, DTE gas customers get a free furnace tune-up through December 1st, courtesy of Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning. You want to jump on board? I don't blame you. You want to trust somebody with your home? It's a tough thing to do. But Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning is trustworthy. All you got to do is check out that QR code above my head. Go ahead and take a snapshot of that, and you can get involved, or you can call them today, 734-238-3839. 734-238-3839. Make sure you tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Yeah, Shep, something that's not trustworthy. Tigers hitting with runners in scoring position. And that causes us to get so angry, so pissed off. You need to relax a little bit.
It's mad all of a sudden.
And upgrade your relaxation game with Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest. Located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc. creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan that QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
And we back.
A few things more from the Braylon's breakdown. I wonder if Ratledge will move to center next year. He actually has a shot at being as good as Frank. I mean, I am now not crowning him yet. Frank is a Hall of Famer in my book, but he has the talent to get there. I don't know if Frank Ragnow's a Hall of Famer, but he was arguably the best center the Lions have ever had. I don't know if that makes him a Hall of Famer. That's a very interesting debate there. I would root for it. What do you think? What's the difference between bodies for a guard and a center? What are some of the most important characteristics you have to have as a center that you think Tate Ratledge possesses?
He's a tall center. Like he's a tall center. Usually centers are like Jason Kelsey. Their guys like 6'2", small, because they got their low point is lower than every other offensive lineman. Like where they're going to naturally be the majority of the game. So it's a little tall on that end. I mean, he has good hand placement, good hands inside, which is what you want to see out of a center. It seems like he's enjoying the guard spot, but I definitely could see, if they got another guard, what does that look like next season? What does that move look like? Is that Graham Glasgow not going to guard and Tate Ratledge coming over? Seems like you mess up the feng shui, but this has been the Lions for the last 5 years. They rotated a lot of pieces and always seem to find a balance by, the 6-week, 7-week mark of the season. So whatever Hank Fraley decides, I'm good with. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Shout out to my former teammate, by the way.
Here's what Steve Baffy sent us in the chat. Steve said, I'd love to see Braylon break down Terrion Arnold. I think he gets a bad rap considering what the Lions ask him to do. Well, I'll tell you what, Steve, I'm glad you sent that in the chat. Maybe it's something Bray can break down. Terrion Arnold was back at practice today, so that's good. That's good news. He was back at practice, I believe, yesterday as well. So that's a positive sign that he could be playing against Cincinnati.
I don't know if he gets a bad rap.
I was just going to ask you that, yeah.
I don't know if he gets a bad rap versus what they drafted him to play if he necessarily can't play that, if that's not his specialty. So that might be on them, but I don't know if he gets a bad rap because when you see him, he's out of position a lot. He gets the penalties because he's out of position a lot, and it looks like teams are targeting him, and when they target him, they have success. So when you mix all those things together, it's not that he's getting a bad rap. He's not playing to the best of his ability right now. And then also, is that ability predicated towards being a shutdown corner, a man corner, or is he better off with somebody over the top helping him? So when he comes back, that's going to be something to pay attention to. What does the coverage look like when he's in there? Do they roll coverage to him, which means give him a little help on the back end? Do they try to keep playing that man-to-man coverage, which has cost them some big plays this season? Keep your eye out on it, but more and more we watch this, was he the move?
We'll see what happens with Terrion Arnold. Maybe it'll be a Braylon's breakdown coming up. Stephen, thank you very much for hitting us up in the chat with that idea. I'm sure we'll take it into consideration. We'll do it at some point this year, just not sure if it's next Thursday at 3 o'clock or not. We're going to do something. There's been a lot of different angles that Braylon has taken with Braylon's breakdown so far, so we really appreciate it. Here's a good one. This one from, who's this one from? From Nitty Gritty. Shout out, Nitty Gritty, and smash that like button. I'm taking my wife to Black Rock for our 13th wedding anniversary on the 21st. We'll see if she orders Braylon's beef. Laugh out loud. All right. Good for you. All right.
I got nothing.
A few more from the chat, Kool-Aid, before we dive into perhaps our surprises at the quarter mark and our disappointments at the quarter mark. Not necessarily Lions related. I'm referring specifically to the National Football League. Anything else?
You know what? There's a couple things here. I see one from Michael Weary that I definitely want to get to real quick. He says, how long do you guys think it will be before Isaac Tesla gets meaningful snaps? And I know it's a mailbag one, but I wanted to go to that one first because Braylon called that one. He that trajectory, we saw it happen in real time on Braylon's breakdowns over the show. So I send it back to you guys.
You go ahead on that one, Shep. What you think?
No, I mean, regarding, I'm looking at the mailbag. Regarding what? I'm sorry. One more time for me.
Yeah. How long do you guys think it will be before Isaac Tesla gets meaningful snaps?
Yeah, I was. I thought it would be before now, so I was wrong. All right, I thought it would have been before now. I think Braylon said week 5, before the season began, when I said Isaac Tesla is this team's number 3 receiver. I think he'll be playing the wide receiver 3 spot, whatever that may be, from the first game of the season. Bray said, I think it's more closer to week 4, week 5. I've seen him in with the first team quite a bit, but not getting as many snaps. Sure, not getting as many targets as I thought he would.
Yeah, no, it's a process. It takes some time to really get guys acclimated to the system, especially when you got guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery and Jameson Williams. I think because of what happened last week with Jameson Williams, because of the drops, because of it just seemed like he was a little bit off that day. Let's just call it that. He had an off day. You know, he was a little bit off last Sunday. I think you will see Isaac Tesla going against this Bengal team, which is trash. I say it again, which is trash. I think you'll see him get some opportunities. I think they'll be early. I think second quarter, look for some plays definitely into the third and the fourth. So he'll have some meaningful plays in this game. Because I think in a game like this where they'll probably win handily, kind of like last week, you want him to get some of those reps. Because as you get deeper in the season, when you play against the Chiefs, you want to start having a couple of those nuances. You want to have a couple of those things in your bag that they haven't seen yet, whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Bucs that you'll see, whether it's the Eagles that you'll see, whether it's the Cowboys, whether when you go out to Los Angeles and play the Rams. There's some really good games this season. You want to get them going a little bit. So this could be a good game to just get him 3 targets. Yeah, maybe even 2. You get him 2 targets, that means he's in on 15 meaningful plays.
Okay.
So just get him some targets, get him some looks to let him get comfortable with the game and the speed. Because that touchdown was a while ago.
It's tough to pass that around, knowing that there's only one football and there's just so many really good players to try and get the ball to, and you feel like they're all playmakers.
But that is a great problem to have.
It is. It's a fantastic problem to have. Yeah. All right, let's get to a little bit of our surprises and our concerns or disappointments at the quarter pole. We did this before the season began. We'll do it at the quarter pole each and every quarter of the season. So if you were to answer the question, who's your biggest surprise in the National Football League, team-wise, who would it be?
It's the Colts.
Okay.
I think it's the Colts. You know what? I'm not trying to figure anybody else's out. It's the Colts for me. It's the Colts for me. Shane Steichen and what he's doing. Daniel Jones. Look, when he was leaving New York, how many people had positive things to say about him? Outside of how he handled the situation, because New York is you know what, and they did him terribly wrong. Outside of that, you didn't have any positive to say, oh, you want a playoff game. But you thought he was going to die in the Indianapolis Colts, which Carson Wentz did, which Phillip Rivers did, which Anthony Richardson got drafted and did. So it just looked like it could be another situation like that. And they're sitting at 3-1, and they look like they're going to win the division, at least right now. They're playing well. Offense is healthy. And on defense, they're playing well, too. So give me the Indianapolis Colts. And for the player, I'll stick with the same team. Give me Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm stunned at their success. Here's my surprise, and then we'll get Ryan's and we'll get Kool-Aid's as well. My biggest surprise right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's a good and bad thing, all right? And the reason I picked Pittsburgh, first of all, Aaron Rodgers is playing better than I thought he was capable of at this age. Shame on me. The other is that, I mean, that division, every single team in the division is minus in the point differential. Detroit's number 1 in point differential in the league. The AFC North, Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Cincinnati and Baltimore are all surrendering more points than they're scoring. Not by much. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, only 2. But still, to see where their defense is ranked and their offensive ranked, for them both to be 3-1 and have the lead in the AFC North. I mean, sure, they're helped out by Baltimore and Cleveland. Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, who's going to be 2-3 after playing the Lions this weekend. I just can't get over that Mike Tomlin has this team atop that division, even though they haven't played all that well. Now, there's a couple of different ways I can look at that. They haven't played that well, and yet they're 3-1, so they're bound to play better, or it's all going to catch up with them. I'm not sure which it is. I just know right now, Pittsburgh's my biggest surprise because there's no way I thought that they would be leading the AFC North.
Side note, there's one I wanted to ask you about, but I don't want to steal anybody. This, I wish I would have said this team. This is the one that I want, but I digress. I will go last.
Well, I think the Colts is a great answer.
True, but it's
nobody picked the Colts to do this, and nobody picked Daniel Jones.
No. I agree. There's another team like that, though.
Okay. All right. Maybe Kool-Aid and Ryan, neither one of them
I'll save it.
Okay, save it. Kool-Aid, your biggest surprise.
The 2 teams to me that I've
you get one.
You only get one, buddy.
You get one.
One of them you guys picked. So the other one was the 49ers. I don't. I expect them every year for at least the last 2 or 3 years to take a step back. The injuries feels like father time is catching up to them, but there's just some mojo over there that continues to work for them.
There's no mojo in San Francisco. Mac Jones, and I know Shep likes Mac Jones. So let me not say anything negative about Mac Jones.
I like Mac.
3 touchdowns.
No, I like Mac.
Get out of here with
I
the
like
49ers.
Mac Jones as a backup.
49ers are on the last legs of Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That is all they got going for them, and Ricky Pearsall. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I thought they were done already.
Yeah.
The defense, they are done.
And Pearsall's out. Pearsall's out this weekend. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings is out. Pearsall is out. Debo's not even there anymore. Like, it's George Kittle's out.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Bosa's out. Yeah.
But I will say this, though.
They're going to get smoked by the Rams tonight.
But I will say this. You were close. You were actually close. You had the right division. You just chose the wrong team. Go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Ryan.
got an idea. Ryan?
No, I think I know which one you're going to say now, but I ain't going to say it. For me, the Steelers were not a surprise for me,
okay.
Shep. I had them making the playoffs.
Talk that stuff, Ryan.
But for me, I went against my guy, Jim Harbaugh, on the Chargers. I didn't think they would be as good as they were. I thought they'd be 2-2 right now.
Okay.
They're 3-1, and they beat the Chiefs. And they should have beat the Giants, but that wasn't. And a team that's disappointing is the Ravens for me, for sure. And a player...
You're answering all the questions at once? Is that what you're going to do?
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought we were. I didn't think we were going to do a disappointing team.
I'm just playing with it. I'm just playing
A
with
surprising player, I would say, is Dak. Dak has surprised me a little bit.
Uh-oh. You're going to get the ire of Braylon now.
Here
we go.
I said it.
I thought
agree.
based off last year, Dak was kind of just done, and his wide receivers, no CD Lamb.
Yeah.
I know the Bears game he had 2 picks, but one of them wasn't his fault. I believe it was Pickens that didn't catch it, but he played really well against the greatest defense of all time in the Green Bay Packers, according to Pro Football Focus. But no, Dak has surprised me for sure.
Good.
Yeah, if you want to talk about players that disappointment or surprise, there's nowhere to look other than Derrick Henry. What Derrick Henry has done in the beginning of the season, like, he is not himself. He is not the guy that was on par to do all the things. I know he had 178 and 2 touchdowns in game 1. That was an amazing game. But to watch the mental breakdown over the past 3 weeks, like, that's not becoming of Derrick Henry. So if I'm going to go a surprise player in that regard, it's Derrick Henry and disappointment. The team, though, is the Seattle Seahawks. If that would have been another team, and the question was, are you buying the Seattle Seahawks and what Sam Darnold is doing? You mix it with what he did last year, you add it to this year. Sam Darnold seems like another guy. If you give him the right setup, a right coach, you give him some players around it, because that connection that he have, like with Jackson Smith and Jigba, is very eerily similar to the one that Jared Goff has with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am not saying that Amon-Ra St. Brown is the same receiver as Jackson Smith and Jigba. Just saying that connection that they have. And that defense, by the time this season's over with, their defense won't be anything less than 3.
But that's what actually.
So I think they are
good.
Yeah,
we saw that in Ann Arbor.
They won 10 games last year, didn't make playoffs.
So I think that is like, it's a surprise because it's the fact that you went and got Sam Darnold. A lot of people thought he was cooked after he left Kevin O'Connell. They thought it was because of Kevin O'Connell. They thought it was because of Sean McVay. Not Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan had him first. They thought it was because of that. No, you just put him in the system and you give him some comparable coaches. He can do some good things. So I think they would be a good team.
That's
to have
what
as a
actually
surprise as well.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's what actually made me surprised about the 49ers, because I actually had Seattle Seahawks better than them this year.
And Seattle beat Pittsburgh, by the way.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, well, the 49ers sitting at 3-1 in a division where I thought they'd be maybe 1-3 at this point in time. That's why I picked them for now. I do expect them to fall off. I do expect the Seattle Seahawks, who I think are better built, and Sam Darnold is proving that, like you said, within the system. Yeah. He's going to be a quarterback that can get the job done to some degree.
For as much as we talk about Jared Goff and Sam Darnold, touchdowns less. Jared's at 9 touchdowns. Sam's at 5. Jared's at 925. Sam Darnold's at 905. And he's 70% efficiency. Jared Goff's obviously 73.8. So he's just off numbers. I know, game looks different. It's not just about numbers, but he's doing his thing. He's doing what he can. And what I like about Sam Darnold, his team's young. Like, his team's a lot of young guys. So this means he's leading. He's 28 years old. He's the leader of that team. So he's doing a lot of young guys. So I think you have to give him a lot of credit.
I like Charbonnet, too, on Seattle.
Yeah, Zach
Another
Charbonnet.
Michigan guy.
Michigan, wonder why they didn't use him more if he's been this good of a pro.
I feel like every time they try and feature him, he doesn't have good games. Like, he gets stagnant, he gets stalled. And I would know.
And they have K9 too.
K9's been stalled this year.
Yeah,
but I like both of them.
I would say Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's one of the best receivers in football, and I think that's
the last thing for the Seattle Seahawks. Their run protection isn't necessarily the best. That's why you see some struggle by Zach Charbonnet as well as K9. Pass pro has been great. Pass pro has allowed them to get the ball down the field to Jack Smith and Jigba or an aging Cooper Kupp. But run blocking, pay attention to that. That's a little better.
Anybody surprised at the play of Puka Nacua? Not that he hasn't done really well. It's just, how he has taken off with Cooper Kupp now gone and people mentioning him as an MVP candidate.
And that goes back to the conversation I was trying to have about Amon-Ra St. Brown before people in the chat got offended. It's like when you think Puka Nacua, you think about plays. Like, you think about big plays. You think about big games. You think about 175 more than once. You think about plays where he's catching over 2-3 people in the end zone. The ability to make a play like that. The ability to catch and run. Amon-Ra can do that as well. But as soon as you say Puka Nacua, instantly a slew of highlights come through your mind about like what he's done.
Yeah. 1 touchdown so far this year.
True.
We're not going to get back into it. You're the one who convinced me about Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now you're trying to push me back the other way. But I'm going to stay the way I am.
I'm not pushing you, but the team. Look at how many touchdowns Devontae Adams has. Look at what Kyron Williams has. Look what the offense has been, and look at what he takes away. People have to worry about Puka Nacua, and you make room for your other guys to have success. So even though he's not scoring touchdowns, he's still kind of affecting how touchdowns.
You like him?
I love him.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like. The Lions, I don't like to use luck. It is what his Lions won as they were supposed to. Lions, they got lucky. They got lucky because Puka Nacua was cooking with grease 2 years ago in the playoffs, and there was a play in there that if it would have been against the Lions, people would have been pissed if somebody hit Amon-Ra St. Brown like that. So they were 1 drop and 1 penalty away from not going to San Fran.
Steven in the chat. Puka. Yeah, that's exactly what they do, for sure. And R.J. Graham said in the chat, the disappointment, fumble king Derrick Henry.
I agree.
Yeah, I would remind people, and I'm not going to sit here and defend Derrick Henry. He hasn't had a good year. He had a bad fumble last year in the playoffs against Buffalo. Bad fumble a couple of times. Fumble, at least 1 fumble in each of the last 3 games. But prior to that, it had been a long time. Regular season games where he'd been held on. But I know.
The conversation was who's been most disappointing this season.
You're right.
It has nothing to do with that.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm talking about the fumble aspect.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the fumble
Calling
aspect.
him the fumble king. Okay.
He's the fumble king this season because it's not just about fumbling, Shep. They're happening in key moments.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, they're happening in the fourth quarter. They're happening with you trying to drive and close out a game, or you trying to drive and, score a touchdown, score some points to get back in the game. That's when they're happening, which is telling whoever was watching, he's pressing, he's thinking about it in these moments.
All right, when we come back, we'll get to the mailbag. Quick timeout. Wicked Pickle. Let's hear from Wicked Pickle first.
Wicked.
And then we'll get to the mailbag.
Wiki Picky.
Shout out to all of our sponsor family, man, including the newest one, Wicked Pickle. And there's a lot going on here, all right? So as I read this, you guys go ahead and get a head start. Scan that QR code above my head, all right? And I want you guys to do that because there's leagues coming. There's tournaments on the way as well. And I'm going to tell you guys about it, all right? Looking for the ultimate pickleball experience? Check out Wicked Pickle. It's Metro Detroit's hottest indoor pickleball spot with 10 climate-controlled courts, daily open play for all levels, and chill lounge with TVs, ping pong, and cold drinks. It's always game on, rain or shine, all right? If you're throwing a party or a team event, they can host those too with groups from 10 to as many as 200 people. 200! It's a lot of people. Don't miss the APA Michigan Gold Cup November 22nd through the 23rd. Sign up at pickleballtournaments.com and mark your calendars. All right, that's what I was telling you about. For the Woodward Sports Pickleball Party, January 9th. Details are coming soon. Y'all better brush up because I'm coming to take the whole thing. Let's rock.
Yeah, if you could bet on pickleball, do not bet on me. I have never won a game of pickleball on like an actual.
How many have you played?
5.
You've played 5. Okay.
0-5.
All right.
Haven't been back since, and the old people cooked me. I got cooked. I won't lie. But you can bet on football, and if you want to bet on football, use Caesars Sportsbook.
The old people cook me, he says.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But anyway, If you want to bet on football, which you can, make sure to use Caesars Sportsbook. Use code Woodward1000, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. If I do have a bet for you, take Florida State plus 4.5 against Miami this weekend.
Oh.
And Florida State will cover. Minimum bet of just $20. Your first bet, if you don't get it back, we'll get up to $1,000 back. So you can bet up to $1,000 tonight and get it right back if you lose. Use code Woodward1000 or scan that QR code.
Every Sunday, there's only one place to get all your kneecapping, hard-hitting Detroit Lions coverage. Start your Sunday with the Lions Weekly Report with Broder and Terry Foster. Then, the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Baligian. At kickoff, keep it locked in for all the emotions of the game with a live watch party with the heavyweights. Then, recap the game with the Lions postgame show with Anson. Game days, there's no other place to be than Woodward Sports. Live all game day. Go Lions. The Tigers are the best team in baseball. Get the best coverage in Detroit right here on Detroit's #1 sports network. Woodward Sports. Every Scooble start, every green homer, and all the action can be followed on all of our social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It's World Series or bust, Detroit, and we are here for the ride. Woodward Sports. Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
This is what happens when you put the ball in play, okay? Really bad play by Kafis at first base. He got lazy instead of getting in front of it, tried to backhand it off the bat of Kerry Carpenter. Should have been easy out. Should have been an easy out. Instead, it's they may have called that a base hit. I'm not quite sure. And the Tigers are up 1-0 with runners at second and third. Now, keep this in mind. If they call that a hit, that's just their third hit in the series with runners in scoring position. All right? They went 1 for 8 the other day, 1 for 15 yesterday. The Tigers have the early lead in Cleveland. Smart move by Stephen Vogt. Yeah. You pull Ciccone and you bring in Heron. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. And I know what a lot of people are probably saying. A.J. Hinch didn't pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter, a guy who's batting .217 against lefties this year, by the way. Okay? So he let him hit, and rightfully so. And what happens? They get the break that they needed. This is why it was unwise for Riley Green to say nobody cares when people strike out. Yeah. When you put the ball in play, you put pressure on the defense. Yeah. All right? Look at the first inning yesterday with a fly ball to center field, okay? You got to make people make plays, and that's a really good example of
That's
that.
like just the difference between being younger and being older. You know what I'm saying? Like, the younger you are, the more you don't think about things like that. It's a different era. It's like, yeah, because that's the truth. No one does care about striking out. Mm-hmm. However, you can't say that. Kyle Schwarber strikes out all the time. You won't catch Kyle Schwarber saying that at the press conference. It doesn't matter about striking out. He's an older player. He's a veteran player. He understands that he has the green light and strike out as much as he can, but he's not going to go to that podium and say, no one cares if you strike out.
Yeah, you're right. And it helps that he's also got close to 50 bombs. But you're right. But you're 100%.
He still wouldn't say it at 50 bombs.
No, I agree with you. 100%. Now, the key is you've got one run across.
Is it deja vu?
You need more, okay? Mm-hmm. You need to jump on them. Wiggling out of this situation, if you're Cleveland, is a big deal, all right? So now you got a lefty and a righty. Spencer Torkelson needs to come through here. We'll see what happens. Let's get to the mailbag, all right? Right here in the chat and see what people got.
Hey, definitely. I was looking at this thing all show. They were sending it in, but I want us to we got to definitely deal with the super chats first.
Okay, definitely.
So we'll go there first, and then we'll
appreciate you guys.
Come right back around to our and it's Randall Smalls today too. 2 $5 super chats too.
Pando.
Let me see here. He says he would have Melton ready if Flaherty doesn't have it. We can't get behind too much early. That's $5 from earlier, $1. And he's number 1 in the chat today. His second super chat says Scott Harris said we would spend when it was the right time. This is the time right after this season.
Yeah, I'm with you, Randall. I would have guessed that it was before this, quite honestly. So I understand the frustration. It's one of those things that a front office member personnel is probably not going to live down. We'll spend when the right time. Who decides on when the right time is? And that's the problem a lot of Tigers fans have.
It's one of those things that sucks, though, because it's like all right, let's just get out last year. You won this year in spite of all the things you do. Let's say they win this game. Now you advance to the second round, doing it your way and not pulling triggers and not pulling moves.
Exactly.
Like, I don't like that aspect.
Exactly. That's the concern I'm sure a lot of Tigers fans have. All right.
See, it worked.
What else? What else do we have in the super chat?
I don't. That's it for the super chats. But everyone in the chat is saying torque right now. But we do have some other mailbag questions that I
that's what we want to get to. So, sure.
And it's a lot of Tiger stuff today as it relates to the people. But Jared Sayer says, mailbag, if the Bengals continue to tank the season without Burrow, what does that do for Hendrickson's market? Is he cheaper now or closer to the trade deadline?
Torkelson just struck out, left runners at second and third. It's 1-0 Tigers.
That's what they're saying his name. Golly.
Yeah, it's a great question. What do you think, Bray?
Golly.
Don't swing at that pitch.
That's what they said today.
That's what I'm thinking. Don't swing at that pitch. You have to protect the at-bats. You got runners in scoring position. You got a bit of a lead. Don't swing at that pitch. Come on.
So tempting.
One thing about Torque they did early on in the season that I watched, I was very appreciative, and that's why when he played against the Dodgers and didn't go well for them, I was cool with him. He was watching the ball really well early in the season. His at-bats matter.
You know what? I was more impressed with the pitches he spit on.
Same.
Instead of the pitches that he was swinging at.
100%.
That is a slider that's really hard for a righty to lay off of. I'm not making an excuse for him. It's really hard to lay off of, but you've got to come through in that situation. They got a break. Can they take advantage of it? We'll see.
Hendrickson's his value is going to be his value. 2 years in war, 17.5 sacks, and that defense hasn't necessarily begun. He's done that. I don't want to disrespect anybody. No one does it on their own, but he's kind of done it on his own. They're in Cincinnati, so his value will be his value as I believe in God, so no more knocking on wood. But as long as God continues to take care of him, he'll be fine. His value will be high.
But
because of the age?
But no, I think it's because of his contract.
Right.
So he's a free agent after the end of this year. Based on history, and look, I mean, you can't use the Khalil Mack example because he wasn't a free agent. What exactly would it take in your mind to get a guy like Trey Hendrickson? My guess would be a mid-round pick. My guess would be a third or a fourth-round choice.
Cincinnati just seems like one of these organizations. In fact, they have been at the front office where they just blow a lot of situations, blow a lot of moves, and I think they're going to get to the point where I think he just walks out the door next year. I don't even think they trade him.
Just a couple of sacks so far for Trey Hendrickson, but it is something that I think Lions fans are going to be talking about for a long time. Yeah. They still feel the need to find somebody opposite Aiden Hutchinson. If McNeil comes back, you mentioned it, he gives good push up the middle. You like what Williams has done. Barnes has been really good. Mohammed's been really good. Will Davenport be back after the bye? Most likely, I know. But I mean, that's depth. Those are people, that you need. Do you have the money, future, for Hendrickson? You don't. Yeah. You just don't. Now, maybe it's for this year, but you're going to give up a mid-round pick for one guy at the end. I think most people are okay with that. Yeah. But you're not going to be able to sign Aiden Hutchinson and Trey Hendrickson. I just don't see how that's possible. I would argue you probably need a corner more than you need an edge rusher.
Yeah, facts.
Just my take. All right, anything else in the mailbag?
Man, we got all of Belle Isle where they can go and plant
trees
for the purpose of cap circumvention, a la Kyrie Irving. Do something, man. Do something. I know the people. It is interesting because Shep has continued to drill this in. Don't just tell me who you like. Tell me how you're going to make it work. And that's one of those things that with Trey Hendrickson is somebody we would love to see book in. But how do you make that work for the long term?
Speaking of DBs, man, I think the Lions, the draft aspect of getting a DB is not going to work. Last time it worked was Darius Slay, and we know how that go. You let him go. Thanks, Matt Patricia, for that. Yeah. But where do you go? Is it a situation where you're poaching? Because what is the ticket on Diggs from the Cowboys?
Stephon Diggs.
No,
Trayvon Diggs.
What's the ticket on him? This is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to go for a guy that can play, that is Pro Bowl. The guy can play. that's still relatively young. I think that's going to be the move for the Lions in the offseason. I will look at guys in the same age range and same skill level as a Trayvon Diggs. Just my thought.
I think that's a really good name to float out there. I don't know what it would take. Greg Newsome from Cleveland is another name.
I like Greg Newsome
that
as well.
people have talked about as well. We're just talking about trades here, okay? Instead of always focusing on Trey Hendrickson, which I understand, but or even a Bradley Chubb who can stand up in a 2-point and attack from the
outside.
outside.
A player like Trayvon Diggs, man. You get him because it's kind of the same for Micah. And what I mean by that is you got Micah out of dysfunction in Dallas. You put him in Green Bay. Instantly, you notice that the energy was different. They're flourishing. It seems to be a good vibe. Stagnant right now, but the energy is good. I think that's the same thing for a guy like Trayvon Diggs. Get him out of Dallas. Get him into a situation where Kelvin Shepard is his defensive coordinator. It's a different team here. It's a different vibe. He's a player. He's a player that happens to play in Dallas, and you know what happens when you play in Dallas. At some point, that mental fog, it takes over.
And Dallas has been willing to trade, obviously, the Micah Parsons deal. But you would have to just give up, I would guess, draft picks, future collateral for a guy like Trayvon Diggs. It would clear a lot of money off Dallas's cap. Newsome, in the meantime, can be a free agent at the end of this season.
And I appreciate this thought and this perspective because,
get them
like
both.
you guys say, we like a lot.
Get them both.
We like a lot of what
we want them all.
all of them. I appreciate it because we like what Brian Holmes does, but there's some things you can criticize. His attempts at shoring up the DB spot in the draft hasn't been it, but his ability to go out there and find them, he's been flawless with that to a degree.
Yeah, I'm not giving up on.
I'm
not giving up on Terrion Arnold.
No, not giving up. But when you look at the DBs, he's been able to go and find and bring in, like even the guys this year from Meek Robertson and
Carlton Davis last year.
I will say this though. At the DB position, it does not take 2 years to figure out if you have a DB or not. It does not take 3 years to figure out if you got a DB or not. Like the end of year 2, you should know that the guy that you moved up to the number 22nd pick from Alabama by the end of year 2, you know if he's it or not.
Fair enough.
And that's not giving up too quick.
But he's not. He hasn't been through year 2 yet. But fair enough.
And that's what 100%.
Yeah.
So that's where you, like Brad Veach. Yeah, look, you know what? Or not Brad Veach, but 49ers, John Lynch.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you know it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not working out. We got to move on from him. Blah blah blah.
Well, that's why the Enos Rakestraw pick drives me nuts because he's a second-round choice. He went cornerback, strength, guys on the board. I respect it, but he hasn't logged it down. Okay, that's as big a problem as anything else. We've got problem solving next.
Don't draft
tomorrow.
out of Mizzou.
Tomorrow, more of the Braylon Edwards Show, including Jeff Pierce. Man, Jeff Pierce is going to join us tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some of the injuries to some of the Lions and how they're able to get through them as quickly as we hope they will. They've played 3 in Cleveland, 1-0 Tigers. Don't forget the heavyweights later on today on Woodward Sports. We're back with you on the Braylon Edwards Show tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 4.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching.
Ever wonder what goes on inside the game?
Deep ball's got a man and got him. Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Join Braylon Edwards and Shep.
Edwards has it. 10-5, touchdown.
On the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Lamar looks in zone. Got Edwards for the touchdown.
Where they dive deep into the heart of sports. Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m., they're bringing you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and a fresh perspective on the sports you love. Don't miss it only on the Woodward Sports Network.